Hey guys, Experts here, and welcome back to another discussion video. Today's topic will be the soon-to-be-released Bendy Lone Wolf, the latest Bendy release that we will have up to this point. Quick disclaimer, this video is entirely unscripted. If I stutter a bit, I apologize. What this video will serve as will be an analysis, a quick look at everything that we currently have for Bendy Lone Wolf a full month before the full game releases. Looking at the Steam page, there seems to be a lot to uncover with the successor of Boris in the Dark Survival, and I do mean a lot, because we have 2 trailers to look at and a plethora of teasers. Looking at the description here, Bendy Lone Wolf will test your ability to survive against ever-increasing odds. Monsters and obstacles emerge from every direction as you journey into the rubber hose halls of the world's most evil animation studio. Every day is a challenge. Basically, a more brutal version of the game that we already had at hand in 2020. Now, the release date is going to be August 15th, which is next month, as I said. Let's start with the teasers, because they will be a lot easier to take a look at firsthand, and we want to start off with something easy. Now, while taking a look at a lot of these teasers, these places seem to be representing more of Bendy in the Dark Revival rather than Bendy in the Ink Machine. Now, with that said, the art direction of this game is more similar to Ink Machine, but in terms of environment inspiration, it's definitely leaning more towards Dark Revival. Such as this little tunnel here. This tunnel, if I remember correctly, was in one of the earlier chapters of Bendy in the Dark Revival, when you had to crawl through the sewers. We can see that there's a wrench. We can see that there's a wrench right there. We can see Inky right there with the Dark Revival model, and we can see Boris with seems to be a bat. And the interesting thing about it is that there seems to be weapon variety, kind of like the first Bendy in the Ink Machine. But yeah, nothing else really to say here. There is some stuff behind Ink Demon right there, but can't really say what that is. Now this one, I'm not sure if we've seen before. It might just be a new area in the studio that we've seen altogether. There's definitely bound to be new environments. Obviously, we can see a Bendy cutout, and we seem to have there seems to be first aid kits or something. I can see the plus right there. And the next teaser, same thing, almost a completely new area. Nothing that we have ever seen before. There seems to be a little machine right there, like a generator. This game looks beautiful, by the way. But yeah, there's Boris with the bat again. Hoping we can see. There's Piper right there using the Dark Revival model. So because of the environments more being inspiration of Dark Revival, there's even the little spider guys right there. This version, this remake of Boris in the Dark Survival, Bendy Lone Wolf, this game seems to be taking place during Bendy in the Dark Revival rather than Ink Machine, because of everything that we see here. There's the same lockers from the original game right there, so that's nice. We're also near some chains right here, so there might be something big that we'll probably look at. But yeah, here's another look at the tunnel. Oh, this one's a bit darker. We can see a little bit of a head, but it's a bit blurred out. Now here, this seems to be a section in Bendy Land, or at the very least some sort of carnival themed area, kind of like Bendy Land. We got some games to play right here. There's flashing lights everywhere, and Boris doesn't seem to have a weapon around here, so this might just be a part of his safe house. But this also could imply that we can equip and unequip our weapons. This area was actually in the original Boris in the Dark Survival. Please find me, Mila. My name is Mila. And this area seems to be exactly the same, so I'm wondering if they're going to change anything with the safe house. And it seems interesting. Now we got a searcher and what seems to be the lost ones. There's one of the traps. There's a radio. There's a bone. I'm assuming that's one of the items. Just relax and at artist rests. So we seem to be at artist rests. We're able to like fight enemies now, different types of enemies, like we were able to do it in Dark Revival. And there's Boris with a hammer instead of the baseball bat. Then there's Boris with a frying pan. And as we were confirming, yes, this is Bendy Land. And it's interesting seeing Bendy Land in the Dark Revival world. I'm wondering what's going to be changed about it. Already, it looks completely different compared to what we saw in Ink Machine. Like the layout of the area has completely changed. There's carts next to it now. There's the elevator. We can seem to use the elevator to go to different places, so it's not just at the start of the level, it seems like. We might be able to spawn at a different area each time. So that'll be cool. Nothing new to see here, just funnily enough, these posters are exactly the same as Ink Machines, though Dark Revival did reuse some of them. This seems to be at artist rests, I believe, because for one, this layout looks very similar. There's a radio there, there's a lost one right there, there's a miracle station right there, close to space anyway. And there seems to be more stuff that we can tamper with. This area looks pretty damn similar to the Boris and the Dark Survival areas, the normal areas, so we might be able to go to different areas, but there might be also a chance that we also will have the original like areas from the game that it's trying to remake. And there's Boris. Looks like his weapon is at I'm assuming that's his bat, but I could be wrong. But yeah, it seems that you can equip and unequip your weapons. There's a book right there. But yeah, not sure if this is level 14 or not. I'm not sure. So yeah, those are that's the last of the picture teasers of the images that we've gotten. Now there's a couple more teasers that I would like to take a look at. There's a total of 4 little like snippets of gameplay that's being shown here. First one that we have, this is the description of the description that we've read up there before. A very dark survival. This seems to be a clip from either the trailer or something new. Because like, if we take a look at it, yeah, there's a Boris like robot, like an animatronic or something, like a Bendy, like a Bendy, like Boris inspired bot right there that attacks you. Then down here we get a little close up of Alice Angel, along with a look at like one of the past endings in Boris and the Dark Survival, the main ending before any of the updates. Become Boris as he ventures deep into the endlessly generated corridors of Joey Drew Studios and beyond in search of supplies, weapons, and the dark truths that await him. The secrets of the machine are hiding around every corner. Secrets of the machine. That's interesting. I'm wondering if we're getting any stuff from that. So in this one, we get like Searcher beating up. There's Sammy Lawrence right there. The cartoon creeps of the dark puddles are unleashed to stop Boris in his horrific quest. Battle them back with well-timed attacks and clever use of dangerous traps. Smash them back into the shadows before they drag Boris away. Monster Mayhem. Then we have Inky Scares. There is right here. The Ink Demon stalks Boris at every turn. Nowhere is safe from his reach. Run and hide in his pulse-pounding game of cat and mouse. Stay out of sight when you hear the beating of his ink heart. So that's pretty damn deep. And we get a little snippet of Inky walking right here. A little close-up at Boris right there. Now, we got this, like, a while ago.
Once there was a wolf, living in a very dangerous world.
Every day, it seems, Mr. Drew loses more and more interest
Bertram
in the
Piedmont.
project. Almost as if something else has captured his imagination.
Surviving on anything he could find.
There's Bendy Land. Oh. Yeah.
And fearing the ink demon.
Beautiful. Now let's take a look back. Let's take a look back at that, because I do want to discuss about a few things. I want to point a few things out.
Once there was a wolf, living in a very dangerous world.
That line right there was from the original Dark Survival. However, this voice right here seems to either be... This seems to be Allison, or the Allison voice actor, like Lauren Singer, like the Alice Angel voice actor voicing just a completely different character, or Allison is the one presenting this story.
Every day, it seems.
There are some returning characters like Bertram Piedmont, which I don't think were in the original Boris in the Dark Survival. Please correct me if I'm wrong, editing me.
Mr. Drew loses more and more interest in the project.
Also, I was wrong about earlier. That seems to be just coffee. I thought that was first. I forgot that was coffee.
Almost as if something else.
I haven't watched this in a while.
But
yeah, this is part of Bendy Land. Now, we seem to be walking through the normal areas from the original game, and, of course, the original, this game honestly kind of makes Boris in the Dark Survival, like, a prototype as to, like, what this game would have been. This seems like a that game has become so outdated. No disrespect to the developers, by the way. Like, I'm not saying there wasn't any effort. There was a decent amount of effort placed into that game. But yeah, speeding up searches. Yeah, baseball bat right there. This animation is really interesting. I'm really not sure what to make of this. So let's go back a little bit. So this seems to be a little like a flashing sequence, like kind of like a jump scare. And ink seems to be surrounding Boris with like some sort of red lighting. Yeah, ink surrounding Boris. So I'm wondering what that's indicating. Like, Boris was looking down while he was doing that. Like he was losing himself or something. Now the combat system seems just like the previous games, which I'm not too fond of. Again, I wish the combat had a bit more to it. However, one thing I can praise the game for, the turning of the camera. The turning of the camera. That is pretty cool. This seems to be something that we have to trigger. This Boris spot right here, this seems to be something that we have to trigger. Like, this can't just be a normal enemy roaming around the studio.
and fearing the ink demon.
That was another line from Dark Survival, but yeah. Very cool trailer. Let me know if I missed anything, and I'll point it out in the comments. Anyways, next trailer. At the time of recording this release date trailer is a week old, so I'm a week late talking about this, but whatever. There's a bit more interesting stuff to uncover here, so we'll take a look at all of that.
This is the tale of Boris and his terrifying world. To survive, he'll need a plan and a lot of luck. Here's the rundown. First, you'll need supplies. Gears, spoons, canned soup, only the essentials. Then you must find the special items that are hidden away. Elevator parts, electrical fuses, weapons crates, perhaps even a bit of music. Search inside everything. Yes, everything. Be aware, your journey won't go unnoticed and will require a bit of skill with a frying pan. For guarding the endless halls of the studio are monsters, creatures, deadly gadgets, and slicing traps. But worst of all is the ink demon. Are you ready? Let the dark survival begin. Coming August 15th.
Alright, like the last one, let's take a look at that again. Now taking a look at this map right here, the bone is one of the collectibles. This seems to be a list of the supplies that we're going to be collecting. There's levels right here. Level 9, and I wonder if it'll be the same level 9 as the previous ink machine. These are studio crates right here containing weapons, so I'm assuming this is going to be how we obtain the weapons. Bit of music right here. Seems to be a hallway leading into a room. Then there's a mystery box right here. Then there's like some sort of... This seems to be our starting point. I'm not too sure what this is representing. It seems to be like a dead Boris heading out to a different direction, so I'm not sure. Yeah, right there. That's kind of a nod to the final update of Boris and the Dark Survival, Symphony of Shadows, where we had to look through the toilets, where we had to search throughout all the updates in the base game. We had to search lockers, we had to search toilets, we had to search Boris clones. Yeah, pretty messed up stuff.
Be aware, your journey won't go unnoticed.
Sammy Lawrence right there. I am wondering if Sammy Lawrence is gonna be a enemy this time, because like beforehand he was a playable character. Sammy Lawrence this time could be an enemy, but there is a chance that he can be an ally as well.
Go unnoticed with a frying pan.
So a frying pan will be the weapon that we are given at the start of the game, but we can like get different weapons as we go on. That seems to be the case.
For guarding the endless halls of the studio are
Now right here, we talked about Boris bot. We talked about the Boris bot earlier. Now we got a Bendy bot. And this seems to be exactly the same one from Bendy Chapter 4, because this seems to be, because like in Bendy Chapter 4, there was like the Bendy animatronic looked like had half of the shell on and half of it off.
Let the dark survival begin.
A little nod to how the previous iteration of this gameplay style was Dark Survival. Like, love that. I really hope you enjoyed this video, guys, because I had a lot of fun speaking on everything that we currently have. I'll keep y'all posted about any updates that we do have on this game in the form of like images images, like little teasers that we get from like Secrets of the Machine. There'll be updates for sure. There is still over 30 days left to go, but they will be in the form of community posts and not in the form of full-on videos. With that said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.